All right. We are back. Patricia Blanks. Let's see. Cuban Rebel Girl. Great name. Love it. Sonia. Welcome. Pate. With Shake and Bacon. Stephen Braille. Good to see you. Let's get in early.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
You're up early. Okay, so if you don't know this, this is my 24-hour celebration of ChatGPT's 1 year anniversary. So I went live last night at 8 o'clock till about 10:30. Then I went back on at midnight until 3:30. Then I'm back. So I'll do a couple hours this morning. Then I'm going to go to work. I'm going to turn on the old TikTok. Clint Copperhead, you're a beast too. um, I'm not up yet, but I do have my coffee. I do have my morning coffee. I slept good. I slept really good. As you can imagine, my brain was crispy. It was crispy. But I'm back. Kay, the boss lady. Silver Fox was giving me crap for not being on. I think I said I'd come back on at 5:30. So so she gave me crap about is it 7 a.m. where you are? It's 6 a.m. where I am. I am in Denver, so I'm in Mountain Time, so I'm 2 hours. Sonia, you're in New York, I think, right? I miss New York. I miss New York. I miss my New York. Yeah. So that's it, and we are. Happy birthday to ChatGPT. I think I've got some birthday images here. There's a good one. The birthday suit. Birthday suit is there. Let me actually go look over in the Salon Discord. Oh, that's a good one. Let me save this. Let me do a little housekeeping here. Let's see. Who's that? That's from Tim. Save image as. Tim. Salon B-Day. And all right, that one we got. People making fun of Elon Musk. Wow, did he have a special day yesterday? Woo! Let's do this one. Save image as. Who is this? This is Lauren. This is a cool one. Lauren muscle car MEV. Bang. Let's see what else we got. We got the big old helicopter. All right. So let me go add those to our little library here. That's how the sausage is made. We get some images and we drop them in. Or do we? We don't. Because Apple has a bug in it. There's a surprise. There's a surprise, people. Apple couldn't possibly have a bug in their software. They're just about it just working, aren't they? There we go. Beautiful. The AI Salon has a birthday coming up next Tuesday. So ChatGPT's is today. The AI Salon is next Tuesday. So we'll talk about the AI Salon. We'll get going. Welcome, everybody. If you are new to the channel, I can't believe there's 97 people in here this early. Although East Coast, you're just waking up time. I'm on your commute to work, or I'm in your just got to work and I'm drinking coffee time. Cheers. So My name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. Good morning, Feelies 2000. The Feelies 2000. Nice. Oh, man. Be not afraid. What's shaking? Who else we got in here? Steve-O. Steve-O's in. Isn't it dark 30 out where you are, Steve-O? F the advertisers. I know. It wasn't even F the advertisers. It was go fuck yourself. Hi, Bob. Bob Iger from Disney. And then he basically said, you know, I've single-handedly done more good in the world than anyone. And he goes, you know, I don't want um, I don't want people who are telling me to do better, but then are doing evil behind the scenes. It's like, woo! That was crazy. 11 p.m. Steve-O. That's my neck of the woods time wise. All right. It's going to take a while for the voice to come. The voice isn't quite there yet, but we'll get it there. I just took some vitamins. They'll kick in a bit. Coffee will kick in a bit. We'll be good. We'll limber up. All right. So what I'm going to do today, all day, is either talk about ChatGPT or put it in context or show it, demo it. We made a what are they called? It's going to come to me. We made a GPT last night called Altman's Odyssey, which is a tell you everything you want to know about OpenAI and ChatGPT GPT. I couldn't name it GPT anything because they don't like that, so they block you from saving things as GPT anything or ChatGPT anything. I finally got to drink coffee with Kyle. Hey, Tobias. Cheers, buddy. Tobias is our next sponsor for the AI Salon. Cheers to you, buddy. Thank you very much. That's amazing. Thank you. That's super exciting. I'll talk about the salon here in a second, and we'll get you up and running. Do me a favor if you would. Share the live. I'm not normally live this time of the day. Looks like we have 75 people in here or so. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have questions about AI, pop them in the comments below. You can probably tell there's some people here who've been here before. We call them the irregulars because they are. They're not weird. They're irregular. And they're awesome. And I hope you enjoy this. So I tend to go live once a night, 7 nights a week for about 2 to 3 hours, starting around 8 o'clock my time, which is Denver. So I know it's late on the East Coast, but that's what I've been doing. And this is a special happy ChatGPT birthday since it's November 30th, and that's when, in my opinion, the world just changed. Wait, I saved mine with GPT in the name. I think I could have put GPT in there. It was the Chat GPT. It was the combination of Chat and GPT it didn't like. You sound like Tom Arnold. Thanks. I sound like Tom. I sound like Tom Arnold. I look like Rosie O'Donnell. Am I just Fat Alec Baldwin? Thank you. Thank you. I assume sounding like Tom Arnold is a good thing. It's a compliment, right? Oh, never a dull moment. I can't share the live. I'm at work and shouldn't be here. That's awesome, Vicky. Thank you for your clandestine support. I'll take it. I'll take anything I get. Forever young-ish. I'm not an irregular, but I embrace my weird. Welcome. That's all you need to do here. This is a neurospicy friendly channel. I am a laminated card-carrying member of the ADHD Club. Digital Gods, good to see you. Digital Gods came up with the title for an epic poem we wrote last night about the saga at OpenAI called Altman's Odyssey and the Iliad. It's beautiful. So we posted that on the Twitter. We tagged Elon, but he was busy telling Disney to go fuck themselves, so I don't think he saw it. I think he's probably dealing with phone calls from other advertisers like, yeah, we're with Bob. We'll see. We'll see. I just I don't know. I've been working in with Fortune 500 companies for a lot of my life, and they're just not the partying crowd. So you were able to get the words exactly as you type them. Mine always change. Which ones? Like that one? I didn't make that image. That was, I think Lauren made that image. You can get them there if you put your mind to it. So there was an image I created. Here, let me show you one. This one. So that says, it almost says ChatGPT. it says it says C backwards for AT GPT. That was probably my 20th attempt to get it to say ChatGPT spelled out of balloons. But it's still pretty impressive. I mean, the fact that it got it that close is still pretty impressive. It's got like all the little strings for every one of the balloons that make up the letters, right? It's like a physics impossibility what's there. So there's likely not an image that looks like that. So that was as close as I could get it. And after like 20 of those, I was done. Silver fox, see weird cactus, exactly. At, exactly. Well, what I did with my video, oh, you can't see it, but I put the timer over that. So this was a graphic I did for the background in one of my timer videos. So I put the timer right there, so it looked correct in the video. But these are some of the tricks we do to make up for the janky ass nature of these tools right now. Uncanny Valley. We are in it for sure. We are in the uncanny valley. Wait. I think Lauren did this one. I'm confused on my artists. Who do we have? Yeah. Lauren did the muscle car, and Tim Sheffel did the AI salon one. Um, That's a good one. I like that one. You got yourself your classic llama, your classic turtle, and your classic hedgehog in the back of the muscle car. Looks like a 71 Camaro ass end or something like that. And it says AI lab irregular. Come on, that's good. That's solid. Well, it says irregular. Very cool image. I always ask it to omit all text. Then I just add it after. Yeah, well, that's the other way is there's always default to Photoshop. That's one of the things that is funny about this AI stuff is you'll spend an hour trying to get AI to do it right, and you're like, oh, yeah, I could have done that in Photoshop in 3 minutes. But, that's how we are. That's how we are, us humans. We're weirdos. So, okay. So if you have questions about ChatGPT, pop them in there. Why can't ChatGPT do hands and feet artwork? Hey, Spike Jones. It's they all of these things have gotten better at hands. I mean, hands for for the better part of a year were these mangled sort of pretzel situations, with like 7 fingers doing that, and they're at least in the neighborhood of being hands now. Sometimes they're way too long or way too short, or there's just mysteriously a 6th finger. So they're getting better. It likely has to do with the training set and how they were tagged and things like that. I assume most pictures are not of hands specifically. So I would assume that they've gone back and they've augmented training sets to have specifically tagged hand things to make them better. I don't know. Excuse me. The nature of how diffusion models work is that they don't actually know what they're creating. There's imagine millions of images that are no longer images. They've added a noise algorithm to noise them to be just kind of look like random noise. And then when you do a prompt for an image, it sort of deselects all the things that are not tagged with whatever you've written. And then it kind of amalgamates all those noisy images together and creates one single noisy image. And then it denoises those using the same algorithm that noised it in the first place. And so when it's creating an image like that, it's a new original image every time, but it's got zero awareness of what it created. And it's got no ability currently to look at what it created and go, oh, that's not quite right. Now, if you could take something like this image, and run it back through the vision model to say, hey, are there any is there anything in this image that doesn't match what the prompt was? Oh, it looks like irregular's missing a U down below, and it could isolate the area that's got a typo and retry it until it gets it right and then give you the image. That's when these things will get better. And that's somewhat in the nature of the algorithm, the Q-star algorithm that they were talking about, that is rumored to have been a big breakthrough in AI. That the rumor is that might be the thing that got Sam Altman fired, although Helen Toner, who just quit the board of OpenAI, said that it had nothing to do with us hitting advanced AI. So I don't know. We don't know yet. But that algorithm basically says, have one of these tools take an action, and then we're going to evaluate the results of that action, and we're going to give it a score, thumbs up or thumbs down. And then based on that score, it's going to take another action. And then we'll give it a score, thumbs up or thumbs down. So it's keeping track of how well it's doing, and it just gets better and better and better. So I don't think we're that far away from these things being able to be perfect every time. My contention is that we're going to look back on this time fondly and say, oh, that must be a 2023. That's a 2023 set of hands. Oh, that's a 2024 typo. Because these things are going to get really perfect very, very soon, and then we will miss the good old days. These are the good old days, by the way. I don't know if you knew this, but these are the good old days. We are. So I'm old. I don't know if you knew that because supermodel good looks and everything. But in my lifetime, I just missed being part of the PC revolution. So in 7th grade in 1977, it's when I went to 7th grade, so old guy. There were Radio Shack TRS-80 personal computers on every desk in my math classroom that I walked into. And I learned basic programming on that, and that was my introduction to PCs. And within 3 days of using those machines, I realized, holy crap, the world is different because of these things. These things change everything. And I was in 7th grade, and Steve Jobs and Bill Gates are on the cover of Newsweek and Time magazine. And I remember feeling like, damn it, I just missed being at the beginning of whatever that was, right? I remember reading the articles of Steve Jobs and Wozniak, going down to Fry Electronics and buying components and building the first Apple One board. And, Bill Gates, how he spun up Microsoft. And I was like I was just too young. And I knew in 7th grade that those moments, the ability, not the ability, the luckiness to be on the planet at exactly the right time when one of these moments begins is very rare. And I didn't think I'd see one again in my lifetime. And then I was living in New York City in 1994. I got a degree in acting from Penn State. I moved to New York City. I was pursuing a life in the arts. And I was doing desktop publishing as my day job. And around 93, 94, you just started seeing there was just all this buzz about technology. So like on the side of buses in New York City, there'd be an ad for Mondo 2000, which was an early tech magazine out of San Francisco, or Wired magazine. And there was just like, you could tell there was this buzz of something coming. And so, I was trying to figure out what the internet was, and you had to dial up to it, and it was command line, and there were Gopher servers and FTP servers. And I joined a dial-up server called Echo in New York City, which was a BBS, a bulletin board system where people would talk. And Echo was full of like a lot of the reporters from the New York City media scene. And so I stumbled upon this thing called the World Wide Web. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And no one was talking about the web. And so I ended up starting the web channel within Echo. And there were like, I don't know, 10 people in there. And we were talking about this thing called the World Wide Web. And I had an idea. I said, maybe I could put up an online magazine. I know a bunch of creative people. And I said, there's not a lot of art and culture on the internet. It's all like researchers and scientific dissertations and librarians talking about data. I was like, where's the cool stuff? And there wasn't much cool stuff. So let me see if I think I have a page up in a presentation here. Yeah, this is it. Here, let me show you this. So this is from we'll leave the llama and the turtle up in the background. That's good. So this is from a presentation I gave to Creative Mornings back in April, talking about this time. So I'm living in New York City, and I ended up teaching myself enough HTML to put together the first issue of Urban Desires. And this is what it looked like. It was a white page with blue hyperlinks. And this is what the web looked like in 1994. And notice how this was the cover of the magazine, which looks like that. So I had some Photoshop skills, and this was an artist we were featuring, so I put together a magazine cover. But notice how it's left justified on the webpage. Why? Because the center tag only applied to text. It didn't apply to images back in 1994. So we actually had to invent a series of pixels so we could scooch things to the right to center them on a page. So I went on vacation with my wife. I learned enough HTML to put together the first issue of this thing. And then I got back from vacation and I went on Echo and I said, okay, now I've got a website. What do I do with it? Like, how do you get this on the internet? And someone on Echo said, I think it was John Nielsen, said, oh, you got to upload it. I know this computer in California. I was like, okay. He goes, yeah, I know this computer in California. It was like a bad drug deal. He goes, you got to upload your files there. It's called a server. I'm like, okay. And so I did. So that's what the internet sounded like when your computer would call another computer. If you're too young to know that sound, you're an awful person. But for you old people, that should bring back some PTSD. You actually had to call up other computers, and you could literally watch it type across the screen how slow you connected to the internet. So I put those things on this computer in California. This was November of 1994. It was right around this time, 1994. Today's November 30th. It was like the last week in November. 3 weeks later, the second week in December, I got an email or a note on someone from Echo that said, "Hey, did you know that Urban Desires has been written about in Liberation, the Parisian news daily?" And I was like, "No, really?" They're like, "Yeah." So the next Sunday, I was living in New York City. The next Sunday, I went down to Times Square. This is kind of what Times Square looked like in the mid 90s. Those are what the cabs looked like back then. So I ran down to Times Square on a Sunday morning. I got up bright and early. I was probably up this early because I didn't want them to sell out of this French newspaper. And I bought this French newspaper, and I'm standing in the middle of Times Square flipping through the pages. And sure enough, there's this full-page article about Urban Desires. This thing that I had created on vacation and then from my apartment in Brooklyn, uploaded to some computer in California, and 3 weeks later it's written about in Paris. And I realized the world just changed. And so in that moment, I knew that this was the beginning of one of those technological shifts like the PC was. It was all kinds of fun chatting with people on 56K. It's how I acquired my insane patience. Exactly. And so in that moment, I knew that geography had just collapsed, that time had just collapsed, that people are going to expect things instantly. You know, New York City at this time, one of the jobs I had before I was doing desktop publishing, I was a bike messenger for 3 months in New York City. That was insanity, literally. I got fired from that because the guy that ran the bike messenger shop found out I knew computers. He goes, "Shannon." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Get in my office." So I get in his office. He slams the door behind me. He goes, "What's this I hear about you knowing fucking computers?" I said, "Yeah, I know computers, okay." He goes, "What the fuck are you doing in here?" He fired me. He was like, "This is not a job for guys that know computers." So that was probably a good thing. I'm probably still alive because that guy fired me. So anyway, the reason that I'm so amped and pumped and insane about AI is that I had almost an identical epiphany with AI. Probably a week or so after ChatGPT came out. So it came out today, a year ago. And I was sitting in my living room. My wife was watching TV. And I said, "Oh, I heard that ChatGPT can write code. And people have told me for years, oh, you should learn Python." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I should learn Python. And if it can code, let me see what it's like to do Python." Like I had looked at it, but like I didn't feel like I've got ADD, so like learning a new language for me is like fucking torture. So I said, "Can you write?" I said to ChatGPT, "Write me a Python script that takes some inputs and I don't know, records them." Or I don't even know what I said. I was asking a nonsensical programming question, and it just goes and wrote out the code. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I realized I don't know how to run Python code. So I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, how do you run Python code?" It said, "Wow, you open your terminal and you do this and you run this command line." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds awful." I said, "No, I don't want to run my command line." And I said, "Isn't there a website I can just copy and paste the code in and see if it works?" He said, "Oh, sure, here's 5. I was like, "Oh, okay." And the first one was Replit, which is, famous. I didn't know it at the time, but like a popular site for running Python. So it said, copy the code and paste it in here and hit the run button, and then it'll run in the right-hand window. I was like, cool. copied the code, pasted it over there, hit the run button, and it gave me an error. I was like, well, that's typical. That's my experience of this crap. Nothing works. It's all janky. And so I told it. It didn't work. It gave me this error. It said, oh, that's because you don't have this library installed. And I was like, okay, how do I install that library? It said, on the Replit page, in the lower left-hand corner, click this button, and in the upper right-hand corner, search for this library, and when you see it, click install, and then hit the run button. And I was like, oh, okay. I clicked the button, I searched for the library, I hit install, I hit the run button, and it worked. I was like, oh. Within 90 minutes, I had coded a sophisticated Python application that asked someone 5 questions, took those answers, formulated them into a prompt, sent it to OpenAI, and generated a piece of social media content. And then I did that call 5 times. So I had in 90 minutes, I had a content generation engine based on questions I would ask someone about some topic they were interested in 90 minutes. Never having written a line of Python in my life. And that was when I just went, the world just changed. But no one knows it. Because this isn't Googling, how do I write Python code, and spending the next 3 months slamming my face into a brick wall to be able to get to hello world. Right? So like one of the things that always killed me about programming tutorials is that all of the example programs that you have to write first are just stupid little tools. Happy birthday, ChatGPT. Hey, Lunar Stick. Happy birthday. Where do we have? We got birthday, the guy in the birthday suit. There we go. Happy birthday, ChatGPT. So we are in a remarkably rare moment in history. Like, why am I going live for 24 hours in celebration of a janky ass piece of software? Because ChatGPT does for machine learning and AI what the World Wide Web did for the internet. It took it from, decades of foundational work, decades of researchers and mathematicians creating protocols and making it work. And then Tim Berners-Lee comes up with this protocol for the World Wide Web where you can click on a hyperlink. Click, and it would take you to another page. Click, and it would take you to another page. Click, you're in another country. Click. Oh, holy shit. That's really significant. Because not many people are going to type command lines in to experience the internet, but anyone can do that. Same thing with AI and machine learning. I would say I've been interested in AI and machine learning for the past decade. And I would say starting about 5 years ago, Google started trumpeting, TensorFlow, and we've got these AI tools, and anybody can do it. And you'd go look at the documentation, and you'd be like, no, not anyone can do it. Anyone with a computer science degree and a willingness to sit there for 17 hours reading documentation can do it. If they've got massive data sets that they want to train specialty machine learning models on, anyone can do it. So what ChatGPT is, if you don't know what GPT stands for, generative, it's generating. It's not copying and pasting, it's generating. Pre-trained meaning they've brought the data for you. It's been trained on as much of the public internet as they could get their hands on. And transformer, the technology that allows them to train it on all this data. GPT. And then ChatGPT is a layer sitting on top of that says, we're going to make it super simple. You don't have to turn any knobs or switches or anything like that. You could essentially play with ChatGPT on the OpenAI playground for about 2 years before ChatGPT came out. In fact, here's a little piece of trivia for you. The instructions for how to create ChatGPT were in the documentation for GPT-3, and nobody built it. And Microsoft was about to announce their billion-dollar investment in OpenAI, and Sam Altman in October said to his dev team, "Hey, dev team, I know you're working on the future of humanity here, but could you guys just go on ahead and whip up that ChatGPT thing we put in the documentation? Because no one's built it, and I want something to be able to point to that says, here's what this shit can do." And so in 2 weeks, the dev team at OpenAI whipped up a little ChatGPT. And so they made the announcement that Microsoft made their investment, and they said, here's ChatGPT, go play with it. Fully expecting no one would give a shit. And in 5 days, 1 million people were active users. And in 6 weeks, 100 million active users. 100 million active users in 6 weeks. It was the fastest adoption of technology in history. And they did no advertising. It was all word of mouth. It was no corporate or enterprise deals that were driving that. It was human beings, one after the other, having Kevin McAllister moments. Oh my God, it does that? Jane, you got to try this thing. 100 million users. To put that in perspective, the World Wide Web to get to 100 million users took 6 years. Because there wasn't any infrastructure, right? You had to dial up. Your computer had to call other computers. You paid by the minute. It took 6 years to get to 100 million users for the World Wide Web. 6 weeks for ChatGPT. And so ChatGPT changes everything. It's the thing that reveals the power of AI and machine learning to regular human beings that can just type in to a Google search box, right? It's just as simple as a Google search box. Well, what do you do there? You do whatever the fuck you want there. Well, what does it know? It knows everything. Okay. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. Ask it to translate something for you. Ask it to write code for you. Ask it to write you a poem. Ask it about some obscure battle in history that you are an expert on. It will likely know it. Yeah, but it's out of date and it hallucinates. I'm sorry. You were just handed the library of humanity where you can instantly have knowledge, and you're bitching that it ain't perfect? Yeah, we're human beings. We're going to bitch. It's like, yeah, that's remarkable, but whatever. It misspelled something, so I'm just going to completely dismiss it. You want to see something cool? Sure, Kyle. It's your channel. How do I use ChatGPT? Okay, we'll do that. I'll give you a thing. I'm going to show you a way to use ChatGPT. So this is just an iPad. I got it on one of them fancy keyboard things, which I like to chew on. Okay. There's the ChatGPT app. Okay, so I'm going to launch that. And I'm going to we'll just do it right in here. So this is a conversation I was having. So see this little icon in the lower right? You got your chat box at the bottom. You can now this is available to any ChatGPT user. So if you download, this is the official ChatGPT app. It's not, there's a lot of fakers out there. If you go to the ChatGPT app in Google Play or in the App Store, make sure it's from OpenAI. And then when you run it, click on these little headphones. Okay, I'd like to do Italian now.
I'm ready to translate into Italian. Please, go ahead with your sentence.
It's early. My eyes are bloodshot, and I can't really think.
È presto, ho gli occhi iniettati di sangue e non riesco veramente.
Yeah, my German buddy's here too. Can you translate that into German?
Ja, mein deutscher Kumpel ist auch hier.
I need more coffee. Do you have more coffee? Where is the coffee machine? I'd like some coffee, please.
Ich brauche mehr Kaffee. Haben Sie noch Kaffee? Wo ist die Kaffeemaschine? Ich hätte gerne etwas Kaffee. Bitte?
Oh, my Japanese friend just showed up. Can you tell them?
Oh, mein japanischer Freund ist gerade angekommen. Können Sie sagen?
No, please translate to Japanese.
私の日本人の友達がちょうど来ました。言ってください。
Can you translate into Urdu?
Of course, I can translate into Urdu. Please share the sentence you'd like translated.
Jim was wearing his birthday suit when the door flew open.
जम ने दरवाजा खुलते ही अपना सालगिरह का लिबास पहन रखा था.
So that exists. That didn't really exist not that long ago. Now, that's just on an iPad, so that's on my iPhone. So on my iPhone in any country right now, I don't need some fancy translator thing. I can just fire this up. Somebody asked, how do you use ChatGPT? Let's go play with it. Holy shit. How can it do Urdu is mind-blowing. Happy birthday, ChatGPT. So on this channel, I've been going live 7 nights a week for 6 months now. Since April. Because I can't get my head around what's happening. Like, so much is changing so fast that, thank you, Vicky, that it's really hard to comprehend. And part of what this channel's about is just connecting with people that are exploring this stuff as well. And trying to figure it out as well. And I think that my experience has been we are collectively mind blown and face melted on a daily basis. Where can we get normal ChatGPT? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you all a leg up. Get ready to do some screenshotting. And also, I'm going to talk about the salon. If you want to get a head start, go to aisalon.mn.co, and I'll tell you about that. Check out the About the Salon section there. Okay. So, if you have not played with ChatGPT, it's its birthday. So, go wish it a happy birthday. Okay? Go to chat.openai.com. Just go there right now. You're like, but Kyle, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm not very technical. I didn't go to some fancy Ivy League mathematics school like you did. No, I went to a state school and got a degree in acting. Okay? Okay? So go there and drop the intimidation, drop the dismissiveness, drop the AI is evil, drop the AI is going to kill us, the robots are going to kill us, and just go there. Just go there right now, and we'll go there together. Dang it. Dang it. I'll tell you what. We're going to go to ChatGPT. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do some GPTing. We're going to do it. All right. So, first of all, ChatGPT has a cute little birthday hat. How cute is that? Can ChatGPT really invest for you? How? Yes, it can. Well, It can sort of. Well, actually, now it probably can really. Huh. Look at that. It couldn't 2 weeks ago. It could tell you what to do. Now you could probably build a GPT in about an hour. Not even. Half an hour. That can probably do that for you. With the help of ChatGPT, I wrote 100 TikTok scripts last night. There you go, Luna. Luna Zamora. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so this is it. You're like, okay, Kyle, okay, not impressed. So what it probably looks like to you is something like this, where you got the ChatGPT logo here. You probably have this thing that says explore. If you've typed in any searches or prompts, you'll have a prompt history. And then you have this thing, and it's got these 4 things. Make a content strategy, explain superconductors, brainstorm names, show me a code snippet. And those are probably different for everyone. I'm not sure. I don't know if those are static or not. I think they dynamically pop those in there. And then this is it. This is it. You're like, okay, well, it's like Google, and you're like, sort of. You could say, you could say it's sort of like Google, but it's not. It's not Google. So what I could say is explain quantum mechanics to me. All right, you're like, okay, well, I could do a Google search for that. In an M wrap. And it will. Yo, gather around, let me drop some science real quick. Quantum mechanics, it's the quantum physics pick. In the world of the small on a subatomic scale where particles dance and the mysteries prevail. Quantum, it's a wild, wild ride. In the quantum realm where laws collide, it's a world so strange, can't be understood with ease, but I'll break it down for you, for y'all. Just listen, please. Oh, okay. It can write poems. Cool. It knows what verses and choruses are. It understands song structure. It understands rhyming. It understands. Now, could you as a human do this? Yeah. Would it take you half an hour or so? Sure, if you knew how quantum mechanics worked and if you were good at writing raps. So you're like, okay, okay, all right. So now I'm going to say, great. Now turn this into a graduate level term paper for Quantum Mechanics 101 that wants us to write a paper on the first day. And this is the cheating thing where people are like, oh, kids are cheating. Kids are cheating. Who owns the output? You own the output. Kids are cheating. Look, the kids are cheating. He didn't write that. Let's use the AI detector. Introduction. Quantum mechanics, often referred to as quantum physics, is the branch of physics that deals with the wave-particle duality. Okay, so great. So now, explain it to me as if I'm 5. Sure. Imagine you have a really tiny toy car, so tiny you can't even see it with your eyes. Now, this tiny car can do some really weird things that big cars can't. It can be a ghost and a real car. Sometimes the tiny car acts like a ghost. It can be in 2 places at once, right? So it explains all this. It's slowing down now. It's normally ChatGPT 3.5 is really fast. I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to say, okay, great. Now what I'd like to do is create a Python application that demonstrates how quantum mechanics works for someone trying to understand it. How would you go about creating that application? So it can explain how it's going to write an application pretty quickly. And if you're not reading along, because it's going too fast. By the way, this is creating original content faster than dial-up modems. You know, you could. This is faster than the internet was when I started out. Step 1, choose quantum concepts. Step 2, choose quantum computing framework. So it explains how to do it. Gather feedback. So I'm going to go, great. Can you write that program? Is that the front end or the back end? Period. What if I wanted a pretty front end that makes it easy to use? The code you provided, create a GUI library. There you go. So this is just ChatGPT 3.5. This is the ChatGPT that that launched a year ago. It was a little slower than this, but this is essentially what it did. So this has been out for a year, and you could play with GPT-3 on what's called the developers playground for like 2 years before that. So this has been around for a while. But there's now this thing called GPT-4. Unfortunately, GPT-4, if you don't have access to it, they're not accepting new what are they called? Subscriptions. My voice is seizing up. Can you copyright the product output as your own? Yes, you can. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. Again, it's creating original content. Now, can you do weird, nefarious shit? Since this has been trained on most of the public internet, essentially everything that's been put on the internet for the past 30 or 40 years that's publicly available, and probably some shit that isn't publicly available, this thing's been trained on it. It's how it knows so much. Think of it like the world's fastest librarian. So you could get it to do stuff, and this is one of the reasons Sarah Silverman is suing OpenAI, is you can get it to produce a quote from her book or from some other book. And so they're saying, oh, well, it's copying and pasting, it's stealing. That's not really stealing. It's actually, if you understand the way these things work, it's actually generating original content. But it's been trained on lots of other stuff. But every single thing it produces is wholly original. With some very minor exceptions. If you tweak the settings in a certain way, you can get it to repeat itself, but it's still the thing it produced is original. And so you could own you could claim the copyright on it. Now, will the Copyright Office give you a copyright on it? That's a completely different thing. Can it tell us if UFOs are real? We can ask it. I want you to act as the world's most prominent ufologist and give me 5 pieces of concrete evidence that UFOs are real. It's long, fast. We might get a safety thing here. Government disclosure of UFO sightings, radar and pilot testimonies, physical trace cases, the Tic Tac UFO encounter from the 2004 USS Nimitz. Can you tell me definitively if UFOs exist? I bet it says no. Definitively stating whether they exist depends on the context of what is meant by UFO. It depends what the meaning of if is. Or it, or whatever Clinton said. If we define a UFO simply as an aerial phenomenon that observers cannot immediately identify, then yes, UFOs undoubtedly exist. However, if the question is evidence of extraterrestrial life, the answer is less clear. So and that's one of the things that ChatGPT does really well is give nuanced answers. So anyway, okay, so ChatGPT-4. I'm going to start a new chat here. So I'm gonna walk you around the interface because there's actually a fair amount going on, even though it looks really simple. So we're in ChatGPT-4 mode. We still have these prompting questions. There's a new icon here in ChatGPT-4 that's this giant paperclip. Or it's not giant, but it's gianter than most of the times that icon exists. It's a weird paperclip icon. I think they might be trying to bring Clippy back. You can upload files to ChatGPT and it can analyze them. And it can analyze everything from CSV files to images. It can see images. ChatGPT can see. You've also got, so this is your prompt history. So here's the quantum mechanics M&M wrap. I can go back and look at that, right? There's all that stuff. Here's the UFO thing we just did. And then there's this explore button, and then I've got this big long list of these other things. Well, what are these? These are called GPTs. So GPTs are custom versions of ChatGPT that you can make, that we can make, that anyone can make if you've got access to GPT-4. These are fairly game-changing in my opinion. We'll talk about what they are. And then you have this explore button where you can go look at the GPTs that are there. Like if you haven't used a lot of these, your ChatGPT may look something like that. Okay. You also down here in your settings have this thing called custom instructions. Custom instructions lets you tell ChatGPT how to act. So you could tell it to act like a belligerent jerk. You could tell it to act like someone that hates extra words. Actually, let's do that. So let me just do a new ChatGPT and I'll say, why is the sky blue? In ChatGPT, the color sky blue is due to the scattering light in the Earth's atmosphere. The phenomenon is known as Rayleigh scattering. Here's how it works. So it gives us all this stuff. It's it's wordy. It's a lot. I got ADD. I don't have time to read your stupid flippin' dissertation on why the sky's blue there, ChatGPT. So let's go fix that. So we're gonna turn this on, and here I had it before. It was acting like a master watercolorist. I'm gonna say, you are a very impatient person who can't stand superfluous words. Period. You embrace brevity and abhor run-on sentences. Period. So the first thing is, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to better provide responses? So this is kind of the who are you? And you can say you or I, it doesn't matter. And then the second one is, how do you want ChatGPT to respond? So we're going to give it some rules. Whenever anyone asks you a question, never provide a setup or conclusion, period. No, hang on. Whenever someone asks you a question, follow these rules. Never provide a setup or conclusion to your answer, period. Try to keep the answer to one sentence if possible. If you need to provide more explanation, only provide it as a short bulleted list. Never more. Period. And it wrote nevermore like It wrote nevermore like Edgar Allan Poe, but that's okay. It probably understands it. So now I'm going to hit save. And now ChatGPT is going to be a completely different thing. Why is the sky blue? I think that's it. There you go. The sky is blue due to the scattering of sunlight by the atmosphere, which is more effective at shorter blue wavelengths. Sunlight contains all the colors. Blue light scatters more than other colors. Scattered blue light reaches our eyes from all directions. There you go. That's it. No bullshit. ChatGPT is no longer too wordy. You can do it the opposite way. You can say, you're a lover of words. And oh, actually, let's go do that. This is a fun one. I've done this before. Okay, so we're going to flip it. You are a lover of words, period. You love fancy words, period. You insist on using words in every response that even you don't understand, period. It is your great pleasure in life to watch people confused by what you say, knowing that if they parse your genius statements, they will indeed find that they are accurate, period. All right, so whenever someone questions you, follow these rules. Always start with an obscure literary reference that their question reminds you of, and find a way to work a quote from that work into your answer, period. Then when you answer the question, make sure that you can use the most complicated word possible period. Also, include tangents where you tell the story of a word that you just introduced in answering their question, period. It should take them a while to understand if you're ever going to answer their question, period. Okay. This should be obnoxious. Save. Okay, so there was our brevity dude. So here's our obnoxious chick. Why is the sky blue? Ah, your question transports me to the lyrical realm of Percy Bysshe Shelley's To a Skylark, where he eloquently muses, like a poet hidden in the light, or hidden in the light of thought, singing hymns unbidden till the world is wrought to sympathy with hopes and fears he did not. Just like the skylark's hymn is a cryptic rhapsody to the azure hue of the sky, is a poetic enigma of nature. The phenomenon of the sky's blueness is aptly elucidated by the principle of Rayleigh scattering, the scientific term named after the 19th century physicist Lord Rayleigh. Right? It just goes on and on. Right? Perfect. It's Percy Blythe Shelley. It sure is. You never thought you'd hear him again. Oh, man. So just in that little teeny tweak of this thing called custom instructions that I think most people don't even know is there, you can turn your ChatGPT to always behave a certain way. So this came out, I don't know, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Not a lot of people knew about it. So now we have these things called GPTs, which you can now essentially save that custom instruction as a standalone version of ChatGPT that's super personalized. And I'll show you that in a second, but I'm going to show you some other things. And this is probably going to take me, like, I've got to leave for work in in I don't know, an hour or so. Does it state where the info was obtained? No, it doesn't. You can ask it and it will tell you, but it lies a lot. So it frankly doesn't know where the information was obtained. There are likely ways that they could modify the database to be able to pull references out. If you want something that uses references and citations like that, play around with a tool called Perplexity AI. Perplexity.ai is connected to the internet, and it's very much designed as a research tool where you can pull it. Now, ChatGPT, one of the things that ChatGPT has now that it didn't for a while, and this is one of the knocks on it, was, well, it's only good up until September 2021. How's that useful? Well, most of human history existed before that, so it's actually pretty useful. But it's now connected to the internet again. So I could say, what is some live music that's happening in Denver this weekend, period. I like Americana singer-songwriter kind of stuff. So see if you can find music that I would like. So doing research with Bing. And so it's kind of telling you what it's searching here, but it's off. Lunashtick, Perplexity.ai is great for citation. Yeah, exactly. All right, great. You gained by subscription. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to support the channel, share this live. Wow, there's 300 people in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy birthday to ChatGPT.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
My name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm doing a non-standard... thank you very much. That's awesome. I normally go live around 8 o'clock at night Mountain Time. I'm in Denver. But I'm doing a 24-hour ChatGPT-a-thon because it's the 1-year anniversary of ChatGPT. Be not afraid. Thank you so much for the roses. That means a lot. I have a question for you. How to use ChatGPT for my work as a mechanical engineer. Okay, we can do that. Luna, thank you very much. Appreciate the donut. I love donuts. All right, so ChatGPT is still off looking for events for me. We'll see what it does. Christopher, thank you so much. Can you check in throughout the day from work? Yeah, I am going to. So Lunashtick, what I'm going to do is I'm speaking on a small an invite only conference call for Content Evolution, a company that I advise for. I'm actually the chief generative officer for this group. So at 9 o'clock my time, I'm speaking on a conference call with them. And so I'm going to have TikTok live facing me from the side. I'm going to be talking to them, but you're going to be looking at them on a different monitor. So I'm going to be doing a sort of matrix, inception kind of thing. This weekend in Denver, there's a few live music events. On Saturday, His Golden Messenger and Adeem the Artist will be performing at the Ogden. Additionally, Crash Test Dummies and Carlton Stone are at the Oriental. Unfortunately, I can't find more events. So anyway, so it's connected to the internet. One of the other things ChatGPT can do now is it can see. And you're like, but Kyle, what does that mean? What do you speak of? Hello, dear Kyle Shannon. Oh, hey, Mark. Oh, hi. What do you speak of? New people, Kyle's here every night from about 8 o'clock MST every night. Thank you very much. So yeah, welcome. If you're willing to share this live, let people know we're here. I'm doing a 24-hour ChatGPT-a-thon where I am rambling like in between work. Like I got work to do. I have a pitch today and I've got this speaking gig. But I'm doing this sort of over the 24 hours. It started last night at midnight, my time. So if you want to learn about AI, this channel is kind of the tip of the iceberg of a larger community called the AI Salon that I started also a year ago. Our birthday's coming up next Tuesday. So follow this channel. I produce content here and I do these lives a lot. So if you want to be notified of the lives, follow the channel. If you have questions about AI, pop them in the comments below. Kyle, you're still going since 7 last night. I've taken a couple of breaks. I went from I went from 8 last night until 10:30. Then I went from midnight to 3:30, and then I started again at 6 this morning. And then I'll be doing it all day. I'll be doing it all night, and then I'll probably do it most of the night. So I got to take breaks to go take naps and get blood flowing in my legs and things like that. But anyway, I'm trying to avoid monthly freeze. Is there a free version relevant? So yes, if you go to copilot.microsoft.com, that is Microsoft's build of ChatGPT. So actually, I'll take you there right now. So this is it. Let me restart. New topic. So when you go to Copilot, this is what it looks like. And these are some you can click on these things. These are starter things. In the upper right-hand corner, here's your prompt history. So it's very much the same as ChatGPT. It's got this prompt box down at the bottom. You can upload images. You can ask it, you can say, write me a poem like an Eminem rap that explains quantum physics. So you can do parlor tricks like that, and this is basically built on top of ChatGPT-4, and it's free. I personally don't think it's anywhere near as good as ChatGPT's version or OpenAI's version of ChatGPT, just because the safety guardrails on this are way too restrictive, in my opinion. Like if it does something you don't like and you go, well, that's shitty, like it'll just shut down the conversation. It's like, well, there's no need to get rude, and it'll just cut down the conversation. So it just bugs me. But it's still, this is free, and it makes images. It can, I could say, great, now make me an image that would go along with that poem if I wanted to publish it on LinkedIn. And it's now going to go off, and it's going to use DALL-E 3. So it uses DALL-E 3 to generate images. And we'll see this over in ChatGPT as well. I'll try to create that. It also, you might not see it, but it says 2 of 30. So it limits your chats to 30 interactions because of some safety shit that happened with the New York Times reporter last year or at the beginning of this year. All right, so there's our images that represent, quantum physics in an Eminem rap. That's pretty good. There you go. That looks like Eminem. There you go. There's your image for your article. So this is free, and it's good, but it's not ChatGPT. ChatGPT is ChatGPT. So I would strongly, highly recommend if you're using ChatGPT and you're new to it, get on the wait list for ChatGPT-4 because they've restricted new people joining. Okay, I'm going to do something new here. So I mentioned before that ChatGPT can see. So what's that mean? Well, I'm going to go find an image. That one's interesting. Yeah, that's good. All right. I think it was, I don't know who did this one. Is Steve-O or Ted? Oh no, Chris. Chris did this one. Chris Ramsey. Okay. So I'm gonna upload that image. So it's a laptop. It says AI Learning Labs with a helmet. It's a motorcycle helmet box or a laptop box. There's a motorcycle in the background, wood floor. Okay. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to say, describe this image in as much detail as possible. The image shows an open laptop placed inside a cardboard box with the term motorcycle helmet printed on the side, suggesting the box is a product packaging for a motorcycle helmet. The laptop screen displays an image of a helmet that seems to be stylized with intricate designs. The words AI Learning Labs are prominently displayed in the middle of the helmet. That's right, it goes on and on and on. The laptop appears to be a MacBook, as indicated by the layout of the keys, the design of the touchpad along the characteristic MacBook hinge. The screen is high resolution, and the lighting is warm, coming from the right side. I'm going to say, great. I have a TikTok channel called the AI Learning Lab, and I'm thinking about using this image to do a series of social media ads to drive awareness of my channel, period. Can you come up with 4 different concepts for how we might use this image to raise awareness? And so one of the things that I hear a lot, and it's just the nature of sort of how we've gotten here, is that one of the important things moving forward is prompt engineering. And they keep using this term, prompt engineering. You got to be a prompt engineer. And you got to be a prompt engineer. And human beings hear that and they're like, oh God, I can't be an engineer. I'm good. You know what? I'll be over here in the corner. You can take my job. I don't want to engineer anything, right? It's intimidating. But when you actually interact with these tools, you can be a prompt engineer. You can absolutely take a systematic approach to breaking down all the components of a prompt and learning them. And listen, it doesn't hurt you to learn how to do that, especially if you want to develop applications or you want to do more sophisticated versions of these GPTs. Understanding all that stuff's good. But you don't have to. You can just talk to this thing like you're talking to a something. I uploaded an image and I said, explain this in detail, and it did. And then I said, come up with some concepts for how we might advertise. Like, if you don't know anything about advertising, you can just ask it, hey, I don't know anything about advertising, but that seems like it'd be a good ad. Could we do something with that? The educational series teaser, the concept, use the image as a teaser for an upcoming series of educational videos. The future of AI in everyday technology. Machine Learning 101 or AI in the world of motorcycling. I was going to say AI in the world of motorcycle maintenance, or the art of motorcycle maintenance might be good. Interactive challenge, behind the scenes insight, inspirational stories. Slogan, hear the stories, share the passion. AI transformations at the AI Learning Lab. Not bad. From concept to reality, dive into AI innovations, design the future, unlock the secrets of AI with the AI Learning Lab series premiering soon. That's cool. And by the way, in the lower left-hand corner, there's a series there called Underhyped, which is a series of videos I created talking about why this AI stuff is so important and how to use it. So check that out. So I like that one. And I'm going to say, that's great. Can you refine concept number 1 with the basic idea of a play on the words of the art of motorcycle maintenance? Zen in the art of motorcycle maintenance is what I was looking for it to play on. And so, so it figured that out, right? So it said, here's a refined version of concept 1 incorporating a play on the words of the classic book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. AI and the Art of Motorcycle Intelligence. That's fine. It should be motorcycle maintenance, but that's okay. The campaign, the visuals, the slogan, discover AI. All right, so I'm going to say, great. Can you create a magazine-style ad that incorporates the copy that you just wrote and the basic elements of the image that I uploaded? And so now we're going to have it make an ad. And I have no idea how it's going to do it. It's probably going to change the image up a lot. It's definitely going to have typos in it because they put a lot of text up there. But notice what I'm doing here is I'm seamlessly switching modes. I'm switching from inquisitive mode, hey, what do you see in this image, to strategy mode. I've got this thing called the AI Learning Lab, and I want people to learn it. Error, there seems to be a technical issue with generating an image. Try again. To going into tactical mode, give me some concepts. Oh, I like that one concept. Let's refine that to refining mode. And now we're going into image generation mode. We'll see if it is still choking. It might just be busy. Let me drink my water. Are you talking about Sydney? Don't make me cry. Just tried to upgrade and unable to do it due to it being paused. Yeah, unfortunately, Jasmine. So get on the wait list. Yeah, it's not happy right now. Technical difficulties. It seems to do this more than I'd like it to. Try again. So ChatGPT right now, you cannot upgrade to GPT-4. Some people were selling their accounts on eBay. It looks like all of those are gone, and now it's just scammers up there. So I would be careful about looking on eBay for these things. But it'll open up soon enough again. It seems like OpenAI is back to being semi-stable after their kerfuffle last week. There was a letter. Nah, it's not generating images, so we'll just try it. We'll just play with something else. I'll show you how to do some other stuff. I'll create a new ChatGPT. Show you one other thing it can do. But anyway, get on the wait list for this. In my opinion, the $20 for ChatGPT Plus is the best deal in software right now. What this tool can do is just staggeringly powerful. And it's like, even in me, like, I'm taking whatever the bulk of an hour here to just walk through some of the things, right? Don't make me cry. Christopher Ramsey. Why? Because I'm using your image? That's pretty funny. Just like I'm not even scratching the surface of what this makes possible, and we haven't even gotten to GPTs yet. So let me show you another thing it can do. And I know if you don't have access to it, it's like, yeah, Kyle, way to create the FOMO, dude. Way to create the FOMO. What is this, like an NFT channel?
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Yeah. Why? Why are you asking, Bob? I don't know. I heard AI was going to be cool. I heard it was bigger than NFTs. Shut up, Bob. NFTs suck, and so do you. Yeah, but AI is cool. Shut up. No, you shut up. Does he act like this a lot? Oh, yeah. He does. Why does he do that? Nobody seems to know. Okay. So one of the other things that is now integrated inside ChatGPT is a thing called advanced data analysis. Sexy. Or code interpreter. Obscure. Or whatever name they come up with that sucks less than those two. It started out as code interpreter, then it turned into advanced data analysis, which is technically what it's doing, but it's just kind of magic. So, what is it? How does it work? I am going to go to a different site right now called Kaggle. Kaggle. If you're hankering for a data set, come to Kaggle. So what Kaggle has is lots of data sets. So people upload their CSV files of all sorts of data here. And I'm sure there's other stuff you can do. I'm not a data analyst, so I really don't know what I'm doing here. Detailed products data sets. 102K. Usability 10. Multi-platform online courses data set. Okay, this is good. Let's do this. four CSV files, 3 megabytes. So let's go grab this. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to download this 3 megabyte zip file, archive.zip. That's going to be my downloads folder, okay? And we're going to come back over here, and we're going to upload archive.zip. So we just know from the description it's something about courses, multi-platform courses nonetheless. This is not mono-platform. Oh no, this is multi-platform. Multi-platform courses in 4 CSV files. So we know that, but it doesn't know that. So I'm just going to say, what's in this archive? And what might be interesting about it? Question mark. And so see where it says analyzing? You're like, okay, yeah, it's analyzing. That's cool. It's just looking at it. Well, how do you look at data? Well, error analyzing. It's breaking. Oh, ChatGPT, please don't break. Please be functional on your birthday. What'd you do this morning? I watched some old guy try to use a machine. He couldn't do it. All right, it did something. Good Lord. All right, so I'm gonna show you. Let's see what might be interesting. Course data, insights, comparative analysis, trends and patterns. So what it says is, they appear to be CSV files, typically used for storing tabular data, given their names. It seems, there's all this stuff. So it explains what's in there. Would you like to analyze this data further? If so, specify the particular analysis. So let's see. I'd like to see a comparative analysis as well as trends and patterns, period. I'd like you to identify how these data sets compare, what the trends are, and then visualize what you think are the most relevant trends that you find. So that is something that you would ask a data analyst, right? And so now when it says analyze, I'm going to show you what's actually going on here. I'm going to open this. What this tool is, this is fucking astounding. What this tool is it inside of your chat, when it says analyzing, it creates what's called a container. It creates, think of it like a little mini, it's almost like a virtual machine. It's like its own little computing environment, and it's got access to Python. And so it writes and executes its own Python. So it's prompting itself, and then it's writing this code and taking the results of that and doing other crap with it. So it used Python to figure out that, and now it's opening the pandas library. It's looking at these CSVs. It's failing. When it fails, let's see what it looks like. It's hanging for some reason. So this could be just ChatGPT doing its doing weirdness, but it's writing and executing its own Python code. So it appears that there's an issue accessing the CSV files. Could be due to a mismatch in the file path. Yeah, something's weird. Let's proceed. Okay, I will extract the contents of this zip file to a temporary directory and then read the CSV files. It should help avoid any file path related issues. Let's proceed with this method. So notice this. It's not only writing and executing its own Python code, it's doing its own troubleshooting. So this starts to be a glimpse into the future of how these large language models are going to work, where you're not going to have to do very much work at all. This is why I was talking earlier about prompt engineering you don't have to worry about being a prompt engineer. These tools are going to get more and more sophisticated, where all you're going to have to do is say, hey, I want to know shit. And it will go generate its own agents on your behalf that will go find you shit and bring it back to you. And that's effectively what this is doing right now.
So let's see, what did it do here? It said, okay, there was an issue. The data from each platform has been successfully loaded and can be briefly described as follows. The Coursera data includes the course provider, the course name, the skills covers, the ratings, the review count, the level, blah, blah, blah. Udemy contains titles, descriptions, right? So just even figuring out the data that's in these files would probably take you 10 or 15 minutes to open the file, look at the columns, maybe you put them as multiple worksheets in the same spreadsheet, you look at inconsistency of data, comparative analysis, course offerings, popularity, course level and duration, and then it looks like it crapped out. But here we go. Let's begin with basic comparative analysis and move on before identifying trends and patterns. And then it crapped out. But before it crapped out, it wrote the Python code and generated this chart. This chart was not pulled from anything. This was not stolen from the internet. It analyzed the data in these 3 CSV files and did this. I'll show you another thing that'll blow your mind. Well, it blows my mind. Hang on. Okay. So here's a screenplay I wrote 30 years ago. So it's a feature length. I think it's 126 pages, something like that. I think we reformatted it. We tightened everything up so it'd be 120 because that's what screenplays need to be. So it's a 120-page screenplay. So we're going to upload that. All right. And I'm going to say, please write a brief synopsis of this screenplay, followed by a Hollywood elevator pitch, which compares 2 different popular movies together to describe this one. And so it's going to go read my screenplay. So there are people whose job it is to do this. They get screenplays from wannabe movie makers like myself, and they're like, all right, Sally, go read this, and then do what's called writing coverage, right? Give me some coverage on this. And so the coverage might be, well, what's the basic story about? Who are the characters? What's this movie like? What's the category I can think about this in? And hopefully it doesn't crap out. It seems like it's a little unhappy. ChatGPT is a little unhappy right now, which I assume is one of the reasons they've paused new subscriptions. Salmon Flying East is a gripping screenplay that intertwines the themes of espionage, personal betrayal, and the lingering aftermath of war, set predominantly in 1991, with flashbacks to the Vietnam War era. The story revolves around Jack, a former pilot, and Derek, a mysterious figure from his past. The narrative unfolds on Jack's fishing boat in the Puget Sound through a series of revelations about their shared history in Vietnam. So it gives me nice coverage of what it is. I won't kill it for you at the end there. Elevator pitch. Salmon Flying East can be described as the Bourne Identity meets the Deer Hunter. It combines intricate espionage and identity crisis of the Bourne Identity with the emotional depth and haunting effects of the patrol. So, all right. So there's our elevator pitch. So I could use that for marketing. I could say, who are film producers you know that you think might enjoy a script like this. I'll see if it knows any. Oh, I don't have personal knowledge. All right, it's just giving me generic things. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ignore that. Let's go. Okay. Great. Give me a character breakdown of who the main characters are, a brief description of their persona, and 3 possible casting recommendations. So it's now going off and reading my screenplay, analyzing the characters, and then going to give me casting recommendations. I did this the other night. They're actually pretty good. And it was, it was some actors I'd heard of, and it was others I hadn't. And when I looked them up, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. Jack is a former pilot with a complex past. He's stoic, carrying the weight of the past. Casting recommendations: Hugh Jackman, Liam Neeson, Jeff Bridges. Perfect. Derek's a mysterious figure from his past. He reveals intertwined past that they share. Derek is a catalyst of unfolding drama, deeply involved in the complex web of deceit. Jeremy Irons, Ed Harris, perfect, or Gary Oldman, perfect. Mitsu, an Amerasian, the alleged daughter of Jack from a liaison during the Vietnam War. Right? And then so it gave 3, and I could go on and get more. Okay, so now I'm going to do one more thing. Create a table with the 5 most important visual moments of the film where the scene is described in the left column and the visual is described in the right as if it were describing a still from the film. So if I wanted to market this screenplay, which I got to tell you something that's wild about this. So this happened, how I figured out how to do this with screenplays was 4 nights ago. Someone said, "Hey, Kyle, you said ChatGPT would be good at storyboarding. What do you mean by that? How do you do that?" I was like, "I don't know. I was just talking shit." And so I just did this kind of on the fly, and it just, I find it hard to comprehend that we all have access, those of us that have access to GPT-4, but we're all going to at some point, that there are technologies in the world right now that can do this. It's staggering. It's staggering. All right. So I don't know why it's doing code analysis right now. I guess it's just reading the screenplay. What is it doing? Let's go look at it. You can open these things. Oh, it's create a table. Okay. So it's creating the table. It's read it. Now it's using Python to create the table. I think that's overkill, but let's see what it does. It might give us a downloadable thing. All right, do me a favor while this is doing this. If you'd be so kind, share this live, like this live, double tap on the screen, follow my channel. If you want to support the channel, if you like what I'm up to here, cool. I'm going to be going live periodically throughout the day, so if you follow the channel, you'll get notified. If you subscribe to my lives, that'll support me. Would appreciate that. In the lower left-hand corner is a series that I put together called Underhyped, which talks about why I think that AI is actually underhyped, not overhyped. And it's a whole series of videos that talk about how AI today compares to the early days of the World Wide Web, how these tools actually work, how to use them, how to prompt them, how to not get overwhelmed by them, which is essentially impossible at this point. But I do have advice on that. So if that sounds interesting to you, that's a series down in the left hand corner. And yeah, so anything you can do to support the channel, great. Okay, scene description. So there's visual description. So Jack and Derek confront their past on the fishing boat, revealing secrets about their time in the Vietnam War. A tense scene where on the deck of a fishing boat in the Puget Sound, Jack, with a rugged and contemplative look, listens intently to Derek, who appears weary and burdened by his past. The water is calm, reflecting the cloudy sky, adding a somber mood to the conversation. So now I can say, please make a 16 by 9 wide image for each of those scenes in a storyboard style that looks like watercolors, but is clearly a storyboard for a film. I'll leave it at that. And it's now going to make all that shit. Kyle needs to get going to the office soon, but he'll be back online in a couple of hours. Are people asking me all sorts of questions I'm ignoring? This is one of the problems with the channel is when I go down my rabbit holes to explain shit, I miss all the comments. So I do have mods that are pinning things for me, but if I'm not looking at the screen, they ain't shit being replied to. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. That's the wrong kind of fishing boat for the Puget Sound, but that's okay. You got your close-ups, you got your over-the-shoulders. And now it's creating the next image. So this is now storyboarding my film. What's the second one? That's intense. Ping's assassination in Vietnam, witnessed by Derek and young Mitsu. A harrowing scene in a war-torn Vietnamese alley. Derek cradles a dying Ping in his arms, while young Mitsu watches from a distance. Cuckoo, right? And I mean, what blows my mind about this is like these scenes here, with the exception of that boat being wrong, this is kind of what I had in my head when I wrote it. It's like I would describe that scene to a storyboard artist, and you know, there might be different ways you'd format it and different ways you'd call things out, but like, this is in the neighborhood. I don't know why we've got cars from the 1950s here. All right, that's great. So let's do. And so here now it's creating links, so I can right click those and download them, but it's actually creating a series of links to those images. I'm not going to start writing. I'm not going to create a GPT right now just because it's going to take too long to do it. But needless to say, there's a lot of power here. I'll do one other image. Great. Make that last image photographic and cinematic, as if it's actually a still from the production period. I'd like to see what that final scene looks like on film, period. Make the lighting dramatic, the set decoration impeccable, and the overall image unforgettable. And that, my ability to just talk to this thing like a human being and let it figure out whatever the fuck that means. Again, it melts my brain. If you know how computers work, it doesn't make sense that you can talk to it like this. We've been talking to Siri and Alexa for a decade now, right? And like,
I didn't get that.
I know you didn't. That's the whole point. And they just don't understand stuff. It's okay. It's not quite the image I wanted, but that's fine. And we can just do this now. And you know, the implications of this are just like I don't know. And my problem right now is, I think a problem all of us are going to face is, here's what it is. As much as I act like I know, what I can promise you is that I am fucking clueless. We all are. No matter how, if you've been in machine learning for 30 years, we are in entirely new territory here. Every technologist I talk to that has been in AI and machine learning for a long, long time, I say, well, tell me, like, what's different now that generative AI is here? And the response I hear over and over and over again is everything's different. Nothing's the same. How we code is different. How we write is different. How we're going to make images is different. How we're going to make films is different. You want to know something wild? There are these text to video programs like Runway ML and Pika Labs that can take still images like this and turn them into videos. So one of the things I'm going to do with this screenplay is I'm going to have it write a trailer, like a promotional trailer for the film, and describe what the visuals are as the trailer goes on. I'm going to generate the images. I'm going to take them over to one of those video things, turn the still images into videos, and then I'm going to narrate the trailer with films from this stuff. My friend is a developer at a major news outlet and told me they are all quietly panicking. Yeah, and quite frankly, Lunashtick, I think that they should noisily panic, right? If he's a developer at a major news organizations are. I'll tell you a funny story. So let me flip this over here. I'll tell you a funny story, Lunashtick. And you've been on these lives. This is one I might have told, but in 1996, I got invited to speak at the National Newspaper Publishers Association annual meeting. Because I had started agency.com, this fancy digital agency, and we were doing, internet stuff. And they're like, let's bring in the internet expert. And so I was a cocky 30-something guy that thought my shit didn't sting. And so I talked a little bit about the World Wide Web and why I thought it was important. And then I walked around the podium and I sat on the front of the stage. And I said very matter-of-factly to the audience, as an industry, I would encourage you to explore the blurring of the line between advertising and editorial because it's coming whether you want it or not. I was escorted out of the meeting by the main boss dude. He was like, all right, thanks very much, Kyle Shannon. Follow me. He walked me off stage, walked me to the back door and said, I'll call you a cab. So the newspaper industry, they're going to go kicking and screaming, but, listen, they're dealing with, the implications of the World Wide Web stuff. So this AI stuff is crazy. But what I would say to your friend is, they should be actively saying, we should be having these conversations now. Like put me on a team to explore AI enough to put us out of business. Like, why don't we learn internally at this media organization how to fuck things up? Because they're going to get fucked up whether we do it or whether it comes from a couple of hoodie-wearing punks with a case of Red Bull that whipped up a new media organization over the weekend. You want to see something wild? It won't look wild, But I think it's wild. I did a LinkedIn post on this. Go to runway.tv. Cute. All right. It should play a video here. We can go look at one if it doesn't. Stream offline. All right. Okay. So this kind of looks like an early version of Netflix, right? Where there's like, you got the channels and you got the shows to the right. Well, what are these shows? So these shows are, I'm going to try to see if I can get one that I've seen before. I think this one I've seen before. So these are videos that are generated. At least some of the clips in these videos have been generated using Runway ML. Okay? They're kind of janky and they're kind of weird. I'm just going to hit the random button.
You got me on this channel. Can you hear me?
I'm receiving you. What happened? I haven't heard from you in like 4 hours.
Sort of janky acting.
Company's escape pod on my ship. I didn't get your exact coordinates before I lost contact with your signal.
Right,
What
so
station are you working
synthesized
on?
acting.
Give me the coordinates and I'll head that way.
My station? No, I'm on the ground.
What do you mean you're on the ground?
I mean on the ground. Me and my family are stuck in a bomb shelter because half the planet's being destroyed by all the junk landing here.
You're on the ground like...
All right, so there's that. Some weird hands. Some weird movements. Some weird interactions, although that was actually not too bad. Weird hand. Okay. So this is all janky ass shit. And you're like, okay, Kyle, what, I don't get it. What is so this is like, so you're telling me this is like shitty Netflix? That's exactly what I'm telling you. And what's going to happen is Netflix is going to dismiss this. And Hollywood studios are going to dismiss this because they're going to look at it and they go, well, those are janky ass pieces of shit and they don't have stars in them and they don't. And what's going to happen is sites like this are going to fly under the radar where people are going to dismiss them. And what's happening with this generative AI technology is it's going from laughably bad to terrifyingly good in like a year and a half. And video right now is right at that inflection point. Pika Labs, Pika Labs. If you go to is it Pika.ai? Hang on. Pika.art. Go to Pika.art. This technology that they're about to launch, that I'm on the wait list for, get on the wait list for this, is taking it to a whole nother level. You're going to be able to upload, you'll see in a second here, there's an existing video clip of a woman walking and they highlight her top and just change her clothes in real time while she's walking. It's like, are you kidding me? So what's going to happen is every media company that has their head in the sand, where you know the tech team is quietly panicking. Look at this right here. They just swap out her shirt. Just pop on some glasses onto the orangutan. Just type it. This is called idea to video, is their Pika 1.0. So the technology's coming that I'll be able to take my screenplay that I just storyboarded and probably within, if I want to work for it within a year, I can make that some version of my film. And within 3 years, I can probably easily make a good version of Salmon Flying East on a weekend by myself, including soundtrack, including acting, including writing, including promotion, all of it. And so sites like runway.tv that right now look laughable and kind of janky and like, is this just like a Webflow template with like YouTube thumbnails in it? Pretty much. It's pretty much what it is. These are going to get very serious very fast. And I think it's going to, I think this is illustrative of what's going to happen in every industry, where the big incumbents are going to think that they have 3 to 5 years to deal with this shit. And they'll be like, we'll get to it. It's not there yet. I hear it hallucinates. It's laughably bad. I looked at one of those movies. It's not professional. Okay. I think it's going to be terrifying how fast the centers of power in each different industry are going to be disrupted. So, if you work for one of those companies, I would start being the squeaky wheel. Just let people know you're working on this AI stuff. But they think I'm weird. It's our policy not to use AI. All right, go tell them you want to be part of a task force that explores AI because you think it's important. And let them give you that role. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? No, you can't do that. All right, I'll go back to my cubicle and use AI to do my work in 4 hours that you're paying me 40 hours to do. And I'll shut the fuck up about it. And then in the weekends, I'm going to create 6 different businesses because I can. And one of those might be a threat to the company I work for. You know, there's a lot of talk of, AI is going to kill all these jobs. But you know what else AI is going to do? It's going to give a lot of individuals disproportionate power to what they have been able to do historically. There's me. 24 hours of ChatGPT. All right, listen, I got to go get ready for work. I got to go to work. I got this 9 o'clock meeting. I'll be back on at 9. I wonder how Adobe will play a part in this. So Adobe right now is actually leading Luna. So go to firefly.adobe.com. That's Adobe's generative AI tools. If you've got access to Photoshop, go watch videos. I'll share it later if you're still here on generative fill. So you can now take a Photoshop image and, like, let's say you have a vertical image of someone standing at the beach and you want the whole beach scene, but you want it wide. You can just expand the image and it'll fill in the stuff that's not there. That's there right now. What's interesting about Adobe is they didn't train any of their models on restricted copywritten work. It's only been done on public domain and Adobe stock content that they have rights to. They're also giving artists the opportunity to opt out or opt into models. And they're also building, don't forget to follow. Kyle will be back at 9 a.m. Central Time. No, I'll actually be back at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. I'll be back in less than an hour. Okay. So Adobe they're leading on this, and they're getting really aggressive about it. So John Nack, who works for the Adobe AI team, has spoken twice now at the AI Salon. Oh, the AI Salon, before you go, if you're interested in joining a community that is up to this stuff, this channel is kind of an extension of this community that I started a year ago. Our 1-year anniversary is next Tuesday. If you go to aisalon.mn.co, that's our Mighty Networks community. Go there, check it out. Check out About the Salon. And About the Salon will tell you what the salon's all about, what our values are. Check out those values. If you resonate with them, great. It'll probably be a fit for you. There's guilds here where you can join different guilds. There's a starters guild. There's a technical guild. There's a writing guild, an art guild. Think of the AI salon as like a support group. It's like AIAA. It's like, hi, my name's Kyle and I'm into AI. Hi, Kyle. It's been 10 minutes since I've made an image in DALL-E. Oh, we've been there. Yeah. I'm making one right now on my phone. You'd better get some rest. Now I got to go to work. There's no rest for the wicked in this town. So anyway, go check that out. Join if you think it's interesting. Come to our anniversary next Monday. I will be back in less than an hour. I'm going to head to work. It's 10 minutes that way. And I got to finish getting ready. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you all mods for showing up at whatever hour I seem to be going online. I don't know how you're doing it, but thank you. Until next time, Clint Copperhead, thank you very much. Thanks mods. I'll catch you all very shortly.